Everyone fights, no one runs. Welcome to the Kill It podcast, where I, Christopher Bob Roberts, explain how I became healthy, wealthy, and happy by being ruthless with my friends, family, customers, especially myself. And today we are going to talk about something near and dear to my heart, the Brotherhood of Beasts. The story of the Brotherhood of Beasts is a story of me. You see, everything that I talk about in my social media, on my YouTube, and this podcast about being jacked and tanned, shaved and shredded, how I talk about the tenets of masculinity, a man should be dangerous, sexual, an inspiration, and he should live a life that he himself has designed. All of that is stuff that I've learned over the last 49 years of my life. And when I say I learned that, what I really mean is I became the man I am by changing the person I was, by changing the guy who was, as I say, fat and flabby, pale and hairy, by changing the guy who was liked by women, liked by men, but never respected. I was never the kind of person that a woman looked at and was like, man, I was never a woman's sexual fantasy. I was never the kind of guy a girl looked at and was like, she just wanted me on a primal level. I was never the kind of guy that guys wanted to be friends with. Like, man, that's a cool guy. Let's just hang out with him. He's a cool guy just to be around. I was never the person who was threatening, in a sexual way or in a violent way. I was never the kind of guy who a woman would look at and be like, she can't put you in the friend zone. Like, you're not some guy that she could just play around with because you have a sexual primal thing around you where it's not going to work. She can't toy with you. Or with guys where, I've always been a pushover. Socially around guys, I was always a pushover. In terms of violence, I was an easy target. And like I said, physically, I was fat and flabby, pale and hairy. So the reason why I'm preaching everything that I've learned is because I learned it the hard way. I was the person that I'm speaking to now. I was the nice guy. I was the out of shape guy. And now I'm completely different. And my life is a lot better. And that is the reason why I've got this message, as they say, of true masculinity. And I've had a bunch of different iterations of things that I've taught, through courses, or through training. Believe it or not, the first thing that I ever taught when I first got into social media, my first written blog, email newsletter, my first YouTube channel, was actually street fighting based self-defense. Being a frightened child who could not defend himself, I got into martial arts as a kid. As the UFC came out, I started to get into combat sports. Okay. And the pinnacle of my experience or my training in terms of combat was actually becoming a bouncer. I got out of the Army, stayed in Europe, lived in Germany, got a job as a trainer for a security company. And on the side, I was working as a bouncer in a GI bar where fights happen all the damn time. I was in a lot of fights. I've seen a lot of fights. So I was able to take my traditional martial arts experience, my combat sports experience, my military experience, and kind of meld it into stuff that actually works on the street. And I called it self-defense street fighting because that's what it was. Every fight on the street is a street fight. There are no rules. There are no martial traditions. There's no respect. It's literally a combat situation. Don't fight if you don't have to. Use your situational awareness to avoid a fight. But if you got to throw down, it's real life combat. And losing might mean dying. So every fight on the street is a street fight. So I took some of the street fighting techniques that I learned as a bouncer, gave them more of a structure, almost like a martial arts structure on how to use them. And I taught them to people who didn't have the experience that I did. You don't have to have you don't have to get cut with knives twice like I did. Okay, you don't have to have bottles broken over your head like I did. You don't have to go to the Pulitzer station because you beat someone's ass, and next thing you know, he's going to the cops saying, yeah, 14 bouncers with nightsticks beat me up, and I have to go to explain myself. And it happened 2 or 3 times. The DA eventually sends you a letter saying, hey, this is BS, whatever, we're not going to pursue this case. But I went through that, so you don't have to. Okay. So like I said, that was like actually my first experience with online business was teaching self-defense street fighting. After that, believe it or not, after that, I taught how to meet women. Okay. Back in the early days of the pickup artistry movement, which is what people did before the incel movement, instead of like blaming women for everything bad and saying, oh, women are just, gross, like children. Okay. It used to be like, how do I get better at meeting women? And basically there were 2 camps. There was, memorize a whole bunch of lines and routines where you could just talk for hours. It's all scripted. The other one was just be yourself, natural game. Just be a cool guy, be yourself. So I came up with something I called prepared natural game. Yes, you have to have an idea of what to say to start a conversation. Yes, you need to be able to see the situation and know where your social value is. And is she being more or less interested, and, kind of like guide things a little bit. But it's also basically just being a cool guy that women like. And then, like I said, then after that, I had my physical transformation where I, was right before my 40th birthday. I was fat and flabby, pale and hairy, as I often say. I myself was the guy I talk about. And in 3.5 months, I was able to lose almost 40 pounds, get, jacked and tan, shaved and shredded, as I say, before my 40th birthday. It was 2 weeks before my 40th birthday, and I had the perfect beach body. So those are all different things that I've taught online. Those are all different parts of my life, different problems that I've fixed. I went from a frightened child who was an easy target, who was bullied, who was beaten up, who was like, if 100 people walk past a criminal, I'm the one guy who he thinks is the easiest of all the targets, to someone who's extraordinarily confident in a violent situation. Nobody's invincible, but I am the last person you want to fuck with, as they say. I went from someone who was not even on women's radar. Women liked me because I'm a nice guy or whatever, but I was not respected sexually. I was not seen as someone who could hold his own. Just like I wasn't seen like the kind of guy who could hold his own in a violent situation, I was never seen as the kind of guy who could hold himself in a sexual situation. I was sexually awkward, sexually inexperienced, not even on women's radar. And then I got to the point where I have no problem whatsoever attracting a woman. I have no problem whatsoever, giving her the excitement that she needs. I have no problem whatsoever being sexual with a woman. Okay. I'm no longer that guy where a woman's like doing me a favor by, talking to me, being in a relationship, having sex with me. I'm no longer that guy. And I'm no longer fat and flabby, pale and hairy. So, like I said, over the years, I've had these personal transformations, and I've also taught them, but I really hated being pigeonholed for 2 reasons. First of all, learning how to defend myself and handle myself in a violent situation was part of my life. Okay? Because you always look at the part of your life that's lacking the most. I mean, if you're broke and can't put food on the table, now, oh my God, this is my biggest problem. But let's say you handle that problem, you handle your money situation. Well, now it's like, I don't have high blood pressure, but I'm so overweight. I got high blood pressure just because I'm overweight, not because of a genetic issue. So then all of a sudden it's like, well, I solved my money problem. Now I need to solve, being overweight. And then maybe you lose weight and you're no longer sick, but you want to look really good. You don't want to just be like average or normal. You want to look really good. So now you have another problem. I got to get in shape. You get abs and stuff. Well, now I need to learn how to dress, and I need to learn, I shave my body and, and get a tan and, oh my God, how do I deal with women? Whether you're in a relationship or not, you should be attractive. You should be the kind of guy who women find attractive. So if you're single, I fixed my money problem. Then I fixed my health problem. Then I got in really good shape. And I still can't attract a woman because just being in shape and, having, more money than you need doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be picking up women all the time. I mean, that's a different thing on its own. So for me, I don't like being shoehorned into, you're the keto guy. Why are you talking about exercise? You're the keto guy. Or you're the workout and nutrition guy. Why are you talking about self-defense? You're the self-defense guy. Why are you talking about, being attractive to women? When in reality, those are all problems that I've solved. And the reason I solved them is because solving one of them didn't make me a complete person. I'm 49 years old. It took me 49 years to become the man I am right now because I was frightened. I was a frightened child for most of my life. I was never someone who was confident about his appearance. I was never someone who was confident about his health or his vitality. I was never someone who was confident around men. I was never someone who was confident around women. I was always the first guy who would get his ass kicked if someone was looking for a fight. I was always the last guy who a woman would want to have anything to do with if she was looking for sex or a relationship. And now I'm the last guy you want to fuck with. I'm the first guy that a girl wants to fuck with. I am jacked and tan, shaved and shredded, whereas I used to be fat and flabby, pale and hairy. So everything I talk about is stuff that I went through because you need to be a complete person. And that is why I've rebranded from self-defense street fighting or prepared natural game or anaerobics or raw strength and muscle, different things I used to call my old channel on YouTube that just dealt with, fitness and nutrition. And now I'm going after this like true masculinity brand because that's what it really is. My whole life, I basically wanted to become a complete man. For me, it's great because I'm allowed now to talk about anything that I want to talk about. And for the people who follow me, for the people who, follow me, want to learn from me, the people who are now where I used to be, like I said, there are many different iterations of who I was, and they're going to have to go through the exact same journey. It's just that because I went through it myself first, they're not going to have to go through like the hardships. They're going to have like the cheat code. They're going to have like my notes so that they can find their eventual goal quicker and easier. So basically what I'm trying to say right now is I'm going to come up with a group coaching program. It's going to open up in exactly 30 days. It's going to open up on the 3rd of June, 2024. Okay. And what this is going to be an easily affordable group coaching program, or it's going to be an easily affordable, membership site, whatever you want to call it, where I'm going to have all of my courses. Okay, all my nutrition programs, all of my workout programs. I'm going to have my self-defense street fighting videos. I'm going to have my street fighting's mental edge audios where I discuss situational awareness, dealing with fear, dealing with pain, building your killer instinct, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to be creating a lot of mini courses, okay, that will give you like more information that will add to those courses. Okay. And I'm going to have a huge part on mindset because mindset is everything, as I say. Like, why did you quit the diet? It's not that the diet didn't work. It's that you quit the diet. Why'd you quit the diet? Because you had a mindset issue. Okay. Why are you having problems with money? Why are you having problems with, working out consistently? Why are you having problems with this, with that? It's always a mindset issue. Okay. So basically what the Brotherhood of Beasts is going to be is all of the information I've ever created, plus you're going to have the opportunity to have direct contact with me. We're going to have a community where basically Monday through Friday, I'm going to answer everybody's questions. Okay, so it's going to be like a forum type community where you could go ahead and you could ask any questions you want. and I'll go ahead and get you an answer that day within 24 hours. Monday through Friday. And once a week, we're going to have live Zoom calls where you can ask me a question live on the Zoom call, or you can ask the question in the forum in advance and I'll just answer it. You can watch the replay. Now, this is really going to be very important, okay? Because honestly, I've got a couple of different ways to work with me. You could buy some of my courses, which I'm trying to phase out. But you can't really ask questions. It's cheap. Just buy a course. It gives you all the information. You just got to figure it out yourself. But the problem is if you quite didn't understand something for some reason or you got a question, you can't really ask me because the point is it's inexpensive because I could just sell it to a limitless number of people. But like I said, because it's inexpensive and it's just a course, you don't have the direct contact with me. Or you can get one-on-one training with me, in which case I'll tell you exactly what to eat, exactly what exercise to do, how to change your workouts, how to change your diet, which is great. But like I said, it's a little bit more expensive. And it's also just for one purpose, just diet and nutrition or just diet, okay? If you have a question about something else, we can't really get into it because it's just diet, it's just training. Whereas, like I said, with the Brotherhood of Beasts, you can go in and whatever your weakness is, you can start working on that. If your biggest weakness is your fitness, you will go ahead and you will get in shape using the information in there. If your biggest weakness is your mindset, you can go ahead and start working on your mindset. If your biggest weakness is your ability to defend yourself, you could go ahead and jump in on that. Okay? And like I said, if there's ever a question, you just post it in the forum. I'll get you an answer within 24 hours. You could just ask me directly. And this is invaluable. I've been a part of 3 different coaching programs, 2 of which I would call my actual mentor. My most recent one is the exact same thing. It's a big course. And, the girl who's running it has a Facebook group. And, she does these weekly live calls. And I asked her a question on the last live call, and she gave me an answer. She's like, well, you got the pros and the cons. This is what I suggest to you in the situation you described. And then funny, a girl asked almost the exact same question, but she, put it out a little bit differently. She said, well, I just told Chris because he came with like a really logical and, put out all the, assets he has. And I told him what I would do in his situation. And she's like, in your situation, I could tell that you're really excited and you're really ready to go. So I'm going to tell you to just jump on it and go ahead and do it right now. So she gave 2 different people with 2 different, situations, different advice. Okay. So that's an example of like what I'll be doing. It's really invaluable to have the direct contact to me. If you hit a plateau when you're losing weight, gaining weight, have some kind of an issue, should I change this? Should I change that? Because in a group coaching situation like this, I could once again work with an unlimited number of people. So the price is going to be low. But like I said, because you have the contact to me, you can go through the courses, set up your own diet, set up your own workout, do your own mindset work. And then when you have a situation where you have a question, you can just go ahead and ask me, and I'll help you through the situation. Now, I'm always going to be available for one-on-one, but like I said, that is the more expensive option. And not everybody's going to be able to afford that. And also I'm not going to be able to work with everyone. There's a limit to how many people I can work with one-on-one before I can't give them the kind of support that I promised them. So I'm going to have to cap that. There are going to be people who want to work with me one-on-one but can't because I just don't have enough time. Or, like I said, they just can't afford it, in which case this is going to be easily affordable and I can work with literally an unlimited number of people. So that's the direction that we're going in right now. And like I said, I really suggest that you check out the Brotherhood of Beasts. Whether you want to join or not, right now, it's not even open. I have a waiting list for the next 30 days. Okay. So I suggest you go to brotherhoodofbeasts.com, or better yet, go to christopherbobroberts.com and just click on the link for the waiting list. If you are watching this after the 3rd of June, 2024, then go to christopherbobroberts.com or brotherhoodofbeasts.com. You'll probably be able to join directly. But right now, like I said, there's a waiting list. If you join, you basically just give me your email. I will be sending you emails where I'll send you little, clips from different courses that are in there. I'll be giving you some more information. And most importantly, when I actually do launch on the 3rd, I'm going to give you guys an incredible deal. Okay? Because I want to get some people in there in the beginning to just be active on the calls, just to be active in the community. And, also very importantly, I want you just to help me get rid of all the bugs. Like, things might not be absolutely 100% perfect in the beginning. So I want to give you a massive discount that you will keep for your entire life until you, leave the community. And so you're going to get an incredible deal. You're going to be in from the beginning. You're going to have the opportunity to help me create the course. You're going to get in the beginning when there are fewer people, so you have more, contact to me. And, like I said, you're going to get an incredible discount. So I definitely suggest you go to ChristopherBobRoberts.com, click on the link, get on the waiting list. You just have to give me your email. Like I said, whether you join or not, I'm going to give out a lot of free information so you have an idea of what's going on in the course. And, like I said, this is definitely the direction I'm going in. I've done this twice before. I've had 2 different memberships or group coaching programs before, and this is truly what I enjoy. Because when I do one-on-one training, there's a lot of work that I put in just to fulfill that, just to give the people the new training plans and to change their diet and create the first diet and, do all the work for them. There's a lot of work and I enjoy it, but I don't like having to do it. Whereas with these group coaching programs, I truly enjoy getting in the forum every day and answering questions. I truly enjoy asking the guys in the group, like, what do you want to learn? What should I do? What should I create next? What do you guys need help with? I truly enjoy getting on these calls and talking to people. So, like I said, for me, this is what I enjoy the most. This is my dream job. And for you guys, like I said, it's a very cost-effective way to get all my information, plus contact to me, plus be able to actually request information you want in the future. Like, could you go into this more? Could you go into this more? Could you, create some training about this? And, like I said, I mean, that's what I'm there for. I want to get your feedback, and I want to create exactly what you guys need. So, yeah, like I said, definitely check out the Brotherhood of the Beasts at brotherhoodofbeasts.com. If you do it before the 3rd of June, 2024, you're going to, like I said, get on the wait list. I'm going to be sending you guys all kinds of, information, clips, just things that I'm putting in there, keep you up to date, answer any questions you have. And like I said, if you're watching after we've launched, you missed out on a great price for the founders. But, like I said, definitely go ahead and check it out because this is the opportunity to get all of the information except for one-on-one training. Every course, every program I've created is going to go in there. You're going to have daily, Monday through Friday, contact to me in the community, weekly live call contact to me to ask questions. So, this is definitely a place where you can learn everything, ask me any questions, get any support, and most importantly, have a community where you can communicate with each other. Because one thing I've noticed in my social media, in the comments, is it's really hard to find friends. It's really hard to find someone who's on the same path as you, someone who is actually training hard, someone who is actually, going to bed early, getting up early, someone who actually cares about his family. And if you want to truly become, as I say, the man that your family deserves, this is the place to do it. Because not only do you have contact to me, but you're going to have contact to each other. I remember very specifically one guy commented when I was talking about, eating out of Tupperware. He's like, yeah, had a Little League game and, they all went to like Dairy Queen or something afterwards. And he's like eating out of Tupperware and like he said, all the fat dads are making fun of me because I'm eating out of a Tupperware and I don't want to be like them. But the problem is this guy didn't have any friends. Where do you find friends who do that? Because 70% of people in America are overweight or obese. Where do you find someone who's not a fat dad? But in the Brotherhood of Beasts, we're all going to be that guy. We're all going to be talking about how disgusting it is when all these fat dads are running around, thinking their trophy wives are going to have to fuck them, even though they're fat and flabby, pale and hairy, don't care about themselves because they make $100,000 a year. So, oh my God, my wife, has to find me attractive. And meanwhile, like I said, the members of the Brotherhood are trying to become the best men they could be, but they're trying to become the man their family deserves. They're trying to lead their family by being good men and setting a good example for their kids, for their family. They're trying to be their wife's sexual fantasy. They're trying to be the man who can defend their family. And there aren't a whole lot of people. So it's not just contact to me. It's not just the information that I provide. It's also contact to each other so you can support each other and realize there are other decent human beings out there, which is kind of hard to do these days, between the fact that most men suck and social media is so toxic. And this is going to be a place where men on the same path, trying to become the man their families deserve, can get together in a hater-free, negativity-free, troll-free, spam-free community where, like I said, we're all on the same path and we can support each other. So, this is the part where I usually say you should go to ChristopherBobRoberts.com and follow me on social media and, subscribe to the podcast. And you certainly should do all of that. But definitely make sure you check out the Brotherhood of Beasts, especially if it's before the 3rd of June, 2024. Get on the waiting list by going to ChristopherBobRoberts.com, clicking on the link to get on the waiting list, giving up your email address, and like I said, 30 days from now, we launch. If you become a founding member, I'm going to give you an incredible price that you will keep for the rest of your life until you quit or leave the membership. And like I said, it's not very often that I give you a pitchy, kind of a podcast, but this is something I really had to put out there because if you're truly interested in becoming the man that your family deserves, this is your opportunity to become that man. If you're having a hard time putting food on the table, I completely understand. Continue listening to the podcast. Check out my social media on ChristopherBobRoberts.com. But aside from that, like I said, if you're in the situation where you truly want to become the man that your family deserves, the Brotherhood of Beasts is the absolute best place in the world to do that. We start in 30 days. Join the waiting list now. Stay tuned. Jump on that founding members special offer, and let's go ahead and build this movement together.